One of Harry Potter's most famous characters is that of Albus Dumbledore, and appropriately over the years he's been the subject of some of the theme's most iconic minifigures. Today we examine the history of the Wizard's Lego form from his earliest appearance in 2001 to today. All in all, the last 20 plus years have given us an impressive 15 variations of the minifigure in a variety of colors and sizes. There's specialized molds, discontinued colors, rare elements, and more to unpack with these figures. So hey, let's take a closer look. Our story begins with the initial launch of the LEGO Harry Potter theme in September of 2001 to coincide with the release of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. There, our first version of Dumbledore was included in two sets, the original Hogwarts Castle and the first Hagrid's Hut. The following year, the same figure was included in two more sets alongside the theatrical release of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, one in Dumbledore's office, as well as another in a rather unusual gift with purchase, which included a variety of Harry Potter minifigures. The 2001 to 2003 sets still made use of yellow skin tones for licensed minifigures, and it's a look I've grown to love over the past few years. There's just something so much more playful and less serious about minifigures like these. You see the same thing with Star Wars. It just works so well with LEGO. The gray beard and hair are old gray as opposed to the newer light bluish gray which we'll see pop up in 2004 along with flesh skin tones, but the most notable color here in my opinion is that of the purple on the robes. Internally, this color is referred to as bright violet, but Bricklink simply catalogs it as purple. The color was introduced in 1998, but fizzled out around 2005. Perhaps you'd think the color originated from Belleville or Scala, but instead it actually first appeared in Technic sets. It's a pretty uncommon color, having only been produced with 134 different elements, many of which Dumbledore himself here represents. Dumbledore is only one of a few minifigs to be made in this specific color. Professor Quirrell had a purple torso and turban, and Life on Mars' Cassiopeia uses the color for her legs and torso. Dumbledore is also noteworthy amongst the other early yellow Harry Potter minifigures in that he is one of only 3 minifigures to have printed legs. Snape had unique purple printed legs, and Professor McGonagall had a printed 2x2x2 sloped dress piece. The next unique Dumbledore figure would release in 2004 with a Prisoner of Azkaban wave of sets. This line of minifigures is particularly interesting as some major changes took place within LEGO between 2003 and 2004. Grays were switched to bluish grays and yellow skin tones were switched to the light nougat we're more familiar with today for licensed minifigures. Beyond the color swaps though, much of the graphic design for the 2004 Harry Potter minifigures remains identical to that of earlier iterations. Dumbledore is a perfect example of this, keeping the same prints and molds, all just on different colors. In fact, no element on Dumbledore remains the same color. The hair is the new gray, the skin now is light flesh, and the purple has even changed too. This purple color is even more unusual than the one that came before, as it's far rarer, being produced between 2004 and 2005 in 26 different elements. For the most part, these were just a handful of basic bricks included in bulk buckets, but some noteworthy additions to the colors portfolio included Dino Attack, Mutant Lizard, and some Clickets. Dumbledore was the only figure ever made in this color and was only included in one set, the iconic 2004 Hogwarts Castle. This is probably the rarest Dumbledore figure ever produced, hence the rather insane aftermarket prices. It's interesting to note too that this is actually the version of Dumbledore that appears in the LEGO movie.
It's pronounced Dumbledore.
Dumbledore?
No, Dumbledore.
The change from 2004 to 2005 almost seems a bit of a downgrade, but nonetheless it's nice to see a new costume for this character. We've unfortunately lost the cape and the printed legs, but finally have a new torso print and yet another new color of robes, this time in sand blue, which is very fitting seeing how often this particular costume shows up through the rest of the films. The figure would appear in 2 Goblet of Fire sets, the Hungarian Horntail, and also as a bonus figure in a Target exclusive version of the Durmstrang ship. The figure would be repurposed a 3rd time in the only Harry Potter set from 2007, yet another Hogwarts Castle. It wouldn't be until 2010 that Dumbledore would finally get a new face print. The 2010 figure is largely similar to the previous one, but does have an updated torso and a double-sided head for the first time. One print with glasses, one without. This variant appeared in 2010's Hogwarts Castle and also in a magnet pack released that same year. Another lesser-known Dumbledore figure released in 2010 is the micro figure released in the LEGO Games line. This was a completely original game and included another 8 printed micro figures. This would actually be Dumbledore's first appearance in dark red robes. The figure is quite affordable to pick up if you're interested, and I was able to snatch this one for 28 cents on Bricklink. It wouldn't be until the reboot in 2018 when we'd see our next Dumbledore minifigures released, but he certainly returned with a bang. The first new 2018 figure appeared in the Great Hall set. This would be the first dark red minifigure scale version of this figure. This Dumbledore would also be the first to use a new beard hair combo, which has become the standard for Richard Harris versions of Dumbledore. Beard was originally introduced with Gandalf in 2012, and the hairpiece was specially developed for this specific figure in 2018, and has now appeared in 4 other colors as well: bright light yellow, white, black, and most recently in dark orange as an alternate hairpiece for Rivendell's Gimli. The second 2018 Dumbledore is truly something special though. This version of the character was released in the first LEGO Harry Potter collectible minifigure series and is honestly probably the perfect Dumbledore. There's a brand new beard and a hair hat mold, as well as we're finally getting a printed robe dress piece. He's one of the more expensive Dumbledores to acquire on this list, but well worth the asking price to add to your collection. The last 2018 Dumbledore is the microscale Hogwarts Nano figure. He bears a lot of resemblance to the first 2018 figure we looked at, and given the scale, I think he's recognizable enough. It's a fun and unique inclusion to our Dumbledore lineup, though definitely not essential to your collection. But I was surprised to find that the trophy figure here is relatively cheap given the very expensive set he's included in. 2019 gave us yet another new Dumbledore minifigure, this time in his Yule Ball robes. It's always great to see these more niche and special costumes rather than the endless repeats or subtle variations of the same thing. And the success of the Harry Potter reboot has really allowed LEGO to go all out when it comes to the minifigures they include. This version of the character makes use of the same unique pieces introduced with the first CMF Dumbledore, but this time the hat has been done in a different color, which was quite a delightful surprise. This figure is included exclusively in the Hogwarts Clock Tower set. 2020 also only had one new Dumbledore minifigure, this time from the second CMF series. In my opinion, it's yet another perfect Dumbledore with a great new hair hat combo and amazing printing throughout. There's really not much more to say about this one. He's great. 2021 celebrated the 20th anniversary of LEGO Harry Potter, and what better way to celebrate than with 3 Dumbledores? The first 2021 figure came with the buildable Fawkes the Phoenix, featuring a new costume based off the scene where Harry meets Fawkes for the first time. The dark orange is unique to this version of Dumbledore, and it's great to see printed legs on this minifigure, which once again seemed to be standard with the reboot of the theme. The second 2021 figure was included with the Chamber of Secrets Redux, and gave us yet another new robe color, this time in magenta, which really does seem to call back to the bright purple colors of the early 2000s. The face print, hair, and beard are the same as the Fawkes version, but this is still one of my favorite Dumbledore minifigures. I just love the bright colors. Interestingly enough, when I purchased the Chamber of Secrets set, my Dumbledore came with a cracked hand. LEGO generously sent me an entire torso as a replacement, but I'd be curious to know if anyone else has encountered the problem or if it really was just a one-time fluke. I have to thank the LEGO group and the LAN, which sent me this next figure, prompting the creation of this video. This one is quite special. The Golden 20th Anniversary Dumbledore, exclusive to the Hogwarts Icon set from 2021. It's a figure that's long been on my wanted list, but that pretty bonkers aftermarket price has scared me off for some time. Dumbledore is one of 9 20th Anniversary Golden figures from 2021, and they make for really fun, if ultimately pointless, collectibles. This Dumbledore is styled off the second CMF Dumbledore. No, he's not really good for anything beyond being a statue in your Hogwarts castle, but he sure looks cool. That about brings us right up to the present, with 2 Dumbledores released in 2022. The first is rather forgettable, being simply a downgraded version of the magenta Dumbledore from 2021, this time with unprinted legs instead of that nice dress piece. He was included in a really great, very affordable polybag though, so I don't think anyone's too upset about it. The most recent Dumbledore at the time of recording this video was included in 2022's Dumbledore's Office. This figure once again featured a dark red costume styled after Richard Harris from the first 2 films. The printing is substantially different from the other dark red Dumbledores though, which is quite interesting to see. The face print remains unchanged. Looking back, it's neat to see that Dumbledore has always been an exceptionally well done figure. From 2001 to today, he's always felt special with his elaborate printed costumes, fancy hats, and big beautiful beards. But what Dumbledore is your favorite? How many variations of this iconic figure do you have? Let me know in the comments. This has been a really fun video to put together, and do let me know if you want to see me look at other Harry Potter characters in depth like this too. If you're interested, you can check out the video I did on the more than 50 Harry variants released over the past 20 years. But that's all I've got for this time. Have yourself a great life, and I'll see you later.